Hey gamers, I am Cybersnack7. Hope we're all well, guys. Back again with another video. Hope we're all well. Before we start, I've just got to apologise for the croaky voice and the nose. I'm still suffering with a cold that I've had for the entire week of last week after Blackpool, which is given to me kindly by Mr. Cojones Deloro. I wasn't the only one, but I just haven't been able to shake it. I just don't know why. But if my throat breaks up or, I start coughing, try and see past that. So, guys, this is the Blackpool video. This is take 2 because the one I originally did at the beginning of the week, I'd put my film footage in, done all the pickups, everything, edited it all, and I accidentally deleted the entire lot. So, that really kind of got on my nerves and made me very angry, so I didn't bother until today, which is now Wednesday. So I've sat myself down again and I'm now doing a second take on the Blackpool. So guys, how my weekend went, I'm just going to run through it. I ain't going to keep you here all day because I'm trying to make this as short and sweet as possible. So I'm going to go through the timeline of how the weekend panned out. I'm going to put in my pickups, my trades, my gifts within the timeline of this actual video. So, Friday, I'd booked off anyway, because I'd booked the Friday and the entire week off after Blackpool to recover, which thankfully I did. Friday, I was up at 5, crack of dawn. I was just raring to go. And then I had a phone call roughly about 8 o'clock. Off Retro Dad Nintendo saying he was making his way down, so he should be down just before midday, because yet again, thanks to Retro Dave, he come down and picked me up and took me to Blackpool and brought me back in one piece, so thank you very much for that, mate. But anyway, he got to just before 12 o'clock and there was a whack at the door. I mean, I thought the engine was going to come off. It was boom boom. I thought Dave's here. So, opened the door, let him in, and he says, let's go to McDonald's first before we saw anything out, because he was hungry, and I thought, you know what, fair enough, we'll go. So, went to McDonald's by me, had something to eat, come back. Now, usually we'd set off, like last year, we set it off straight away. This year, we actually stayed in the gamepad for a couple of hours so Dave could check out the games, play a few games. He played the MBS system, he played quite a few Master System games, because he's just recently got himself a Master System, and it was just having he was having a good thump through the game sort of thing. So we enjoyed ourselves for a couple of hours and got through just before 2. And before we left, we settled a trade that we'd been working on for about a month. You've seen his video by now. He had off me my original Sega Saturn boxed with a spare one and all my games and peripherals, because I weren't collecting for the PAL system, and I never really used the console anyway, because I'm more Japanese than PAL. So he had all my Saturn stuff, and we did a trade, and I had a few games off him and some money, which went towards Blackpool anyway. So I'll start with Dave's trades that I actually traded with him. Now, the first one I had was this is the first one of the year that's entering into the collection, and it's an NTSC Super Nintendo game. One I've never played, one I've wanted to own. Now I've got to get the first one because this is the sequel to it, but it's in pristine condition, not an issue with it. And it is Joe and Mac 2. The Lost in the Tropics. Never ever played this before. It really didn't appeal to Dave. He didn't really like this much, but I'm into the platformers, and anything that's quite sought after and in prime condition concerned with the Super Nintendo, I'm having. So I was well happy to have that one. So I'm very, very glad to have that to the collection. So that's Joe and Mac 2. And then we went on to some Master System. Now, I've had 2 games off him, which he didn't really like and he didn't want in his collection, but I needed because of the fact that give for the full set. But I'm going to do a monkey spaz, because obviously I'm not going to show you the games that I've got off Dave, because that'll be ruining the experience when I do a man versus Master System with the next 10. So, there they are. 2 complete inbox, really nice condition Master System titles. That's as far as I'm taking it. I'm not going to show you any more. So there you go, that's 2 Master System games. And there's the NTSC Super Nintendo game. And then finally, I do like the peripherals. I have picked myself up another peripheral for the Master System, which I'll give it to in another video. But this Dave didn't want, and I was very gladly happy enough to take it off his hands. And it is one of these. The Sega control stick, boxed and complete. Very, very nice condition. It's absolutely mint. As he said, it's been untouched. It's got the manual in the baggie and everything, and even the control stick. It basically, it just hasn't been touched. Still got the cellophane over the top of it, where you can take the cellophane off it. It's just perfect nick. So, very, very happy to have that, and add that to the old Master System collection. So that's all the trades I did with Dave, plus a little bit of cash. So that's that lot done over. So we head to the van, 2 o'clock-ish, and it usually takes, what, roughly about 2 hours, 30 minutes, 2.5 hours max. Now, if you can hear drilling, I've had that for 2 weeks, so that's what's kind of put me off doing a video. So today I've just had to persevere and to get on with it. Anyway, jumped in a van, 2.5 hour journey. That should have took us 2.5 hours. He got in a van, set his thing up to get us there, and he goes, "We've got a bit of bad news, mate. It's not going to take us late. It's going to take us nearly 4." So there was issues with the traffic on the way up to Blackpool, and we thought, I'm not looking forward to this drive, but we had to do it. So we set off at 2. And as promised, we hit the traffic. It was like kind of a 50-mile-an-hour speed limit in certain sections of the motorways. So you had to build up, you get through it, you have a little bit of a run, you get through it, build up, and it's just a never-ending journey. It really, really was. And we ended up getting to Blackpool around 6 o'clock-ish. And couldn't have got there sooner. I tell you, my legs were killing me sitting in that car, because we just went straight for it, no stops. And we weren't the only ones with the issues. A lot of people had the same issue. Daz had the same issue trying to get through Blackpool after picking Raz up from Manchester Airport. So, you know, there's a lot of us in the same boat. But we got there, and we checked into our hotel, the Carousel. Very nice hotel, got to say. The only gripe was it was about 6 miles away from the event, and it was all the way down the back of the strip. But nothing deters us. We thought, sod this, right, getting in the car, straight up to the Nürburgring, and he parked up outside the Nürburgring for the weekend. So anything we bought, anything we traded and had as gift, we stuck in the back of his van. So he stayed there, and it was safe over the weekend. So pulled up and thought, there we go, weekend begins. So went into the bar, and first 2 people I managed to bump into was Mr. Cojones de Loro, Daz, and he was sitting with this strange fella I've never met before. And Daz goes, "Who do you think this is?" And off the top of my head, I just thought, well, this is Wooly Weeble. And I was right. Duncan Wooly Weeble was sitting chatting to Daz. Very reserved and quiet at first, I must admit, which is expected for somebody to come on their own and to meet a bunch of strangers for the first time. It's not the easiest of things to do, but that soon changed over the weekend, and he definitely come out of himself, and he really did enjoy himself, believe me. But fantastic to meet him and to see the man in the flesh. But yeah, those 2 were the first 2 that were there, and then a steady flow came in within the hour afterwards. Everybody new and old. Matt Soulfunk Retro was there, Stu Toot UK, Rich King Retro, Gruss Newton, I'm sure Pete on a road trip, he turned up, I'm not too sure, apologies if he was there, mate, but great to see him anyway, because it was his first time over here into the Blackpool community jolly. But then Monkey Spaz turned up, Console Snub, Chris Nova Bug, Rob was there for the first time this year, Champion 2D Rob. Great to see Rob. Always great to see Rob. Dahl, Darth Twin Rover Carl. Of course, Raz. How can anybody forget Raz? Nobody can forget Raz, bless him. And there was a lot more. I think Dan Central was there. Good to see Dan again. Very, very good to see Dan. Who else was there? This is the thing now. This is where it gets awkward, because you start rolling off names and it's very difficult to continue. But if I'm going through the story and, like, you know, I managed to remember the names, I'll pop them in. But put it this way, there was got to have been just under 40 YouTubers on there on Friday night, and it was a fantastic night all round. Absolutely brilliant. Everybody got on. Everybody had the chat. Everybody did the thing. No trouble, no hassle. It was just a brilliant first night, and truly the proper meet-up, which it was kind of arranged for the Saturday, but Friday was the night. By far, easily the best night of the weekend. But as I say, we got to about 12 o'clock. Everybody had the jollies. Now, I did have a couple of items given to me on that Friday night. So I'll start with the two pixel art pictures that Matt Soulfunk Retro sent my way. He'd done these probably a month or so beforehand, because I met him firstly in Leeds when I went to the Leeds Retro Market for the first time, and I'd give him a game that he was after. And to be honest, Matt, what you've given me here is just, you know, it's amazing, and it's going up above where my fingers, just across there, shortly after this video has been done, trust me. So there'll be pride of place on the wall. But these two frame pictures that he's done for me are top. They are amazing. Now, I'm into my fighting games, and he knows, he asked me to basically do, or tell him, 10 fighters from one of my favourite series of fighting games, which is King of the Fighters. So I'll give him 10 fighters, and he's done me these frames with 5 fighters each in. So you can just imagine what they're going to be like. They are fantastic, no two ways about it. But the first one is this one, and as you can see, they look pretty damn awesome. And there's the first 5 fighters that I picked for him to stick in a frame. Absolutely fantastic. Never expected him to be this good, but he did send a picture previous to Blackpool, and I thought, man, I'm looking forward to getting these, and I'm not disappointed, mate. They are absolutely fantastic. And here it's the second one with more of my favourite characters from the King of Fighters series. So they, my friend, are going pride of place, believe me. One-offs for me only, and they are absolutely superb. And Matt, I cannot thank you enough for them, mate. Absolutely fantastic, mate. Superb. Just going to make this room even better. But those are the fantastic pixel art pictures I had off Matt Soulfunk Retro. And it doesn't end there, because my good friend Dol, the Retro Godfather, he sent me a package beginning of this year, and he had a Game Gear game in there, Japanese Game Gear game. And I did say to him, said, that's one thing I don't own, mate, a Game Gear. And he goes, I'll soon remedy that for you when I see him in Blackpool. And I thought, okay. So, I see Dol, and he ends up giving me this, a bag. So you know what's coming. So let me try and open this without taking or spilling too much out of it. But as you can see, I got myself a Game Gear and 7 games. So the 7 games that I got with it are Columns, and I have Streets of Rage, and I have Olympic Gold. Also Super Monaco GP, and I have Super Games Pack 4-in-1, so it's 4 games on 1 cartridge. Then I've got Donald Duck, the Lucky Dime Caper, and then lastly Space Harrier. So 7 great games, including the Japanese title that I had off Dol, and now a Game Gear. So, you know, I'm not the greatest of handheld fanatics, but something I'm going to experience for the first time. So, Dole, thank you very much for that, including the fantastic case to keep it in. So, very, very happy with that, mate. You're a top geezer, mate. So that's off Dole. And then finally, excuse me because my throat's getting a bit sore. I spoke to Daz yet again a couple of days before Blackpool, and he decided he wants to sell his N64 collection. He doesn't want to continue with it, so he offered me some of the games, especially one, which I was definitely on the cards to having, because we went to Play Nation at the end of last year, and we both wanted this certain game for the N64, and in the end I said, Daz, you can have it, not a problem, mate. And obviously times have changed. He's got rid of his collection, and he said to me, I want to give you first dibs on this game as you allowed me to have it the first time round, and I thought that was very, very kind of him. So I've had the game I'm going to show you in a bit, plus another 2 games for a fantastic deal, and they are prime condition and good additions to add to my N64 Jap collection. So the first 3 games I had are these. The first one is Star Soldier Vanishing Earth, which is a shoot 'em up for the N64. Absolutely fantastic condition. But yeah, very, very happy to own this one, and it's a pretty good shoot 'em up actually, really, really good. Didn't expect it to be that good. It's quite difficult, but as per usual for me. But absolutely fantastic condition. Very, very happy to add that one to the collection. So that's Star Soldier Vanishing Earth. And then the next one is one I've wanted for a long time, and I've come across it a few times, and it's always been the wrong price, and I didn't really want to pay over the odds for it, but still it's a game you got to have in the N64 collection without a doubt, and it is Sin and Punishment, and this is in absolutely superb condition, absolutely fantastic. But I'm very, very happy to get this game in the old collection. So there you go, that is Sin and Punishment. Marvellous. And the final game, this is the one I wanted, and Daz knows this, and sorry Raz, I know you really love this game, but I'm so really happy to get this in the collection at last. But it is the mighty Bangai-O. This game is an absolute must for an N64 collection. It's absolutely fantastic game. I've played this all last week constantly. It's such a good game, but the box is in pristine condition. The game is brilliant. The game art, the artwork is absolutely superb. It's just, you know, it's just one of them classic games, and to have this at last in the collection is top, mate, trust me. So fantastic deal off you, Daz. 3 brilliant games to the collection, mate. Absolutely superb. So that's all my trades, all my deals, and all my gifts from the Friday. So anyway, Friday, end of the night, about 12 o'clock-ish, and right, it's time to go home. Now, there was going to be a bit of footage now of 6 of us trying to get into Carl's Subaru, which was a pretty funny moment, to be honest with you, and as Dad put it, it was YouTube gold. But unfortunately it has gone. So all I can say is 6 of us got in a car, and I had to try and squeeze in and like technically stand on everybody in the back seat. So I was all over Daz, Dahl and Minx 36, and I thought I'm going to take a video of it. I was drunk as a lord. Everybody, it's just things that were said were just so funny at the time. It was just a bit. It was just a bit of a cracking little bit of video. I mean, it weren't very long, but it was such a good moment, and it's a shame that I've lost it. It really, really is. But we got home. Carl drove us home. Now, before I go any further, Carl didn't drink, and he was very kind of him to basically transport us from the Nürburgring back to our hotels, and back from our hotels to the Nürburgring over the weekend. So thank you very much for that, mate, which saved us big time. So anyway, we got home, we all had a good kip, got up nice and early, met down and had a breakfast around 7:30ish, and then we all pulled back up to the Nürburgring around 9. Waiting outside, as per usual, first in line, which I'm very, very happy about this year. Queued up, and within, I'd say, it was only queued up for an hour. Just after 10 they opened, which is quite good. We all got our bands quite early. And then obviously the doors opened. But before this, you had people that we knew, obviously, and they come in, hello, how are you doing? And they kind of joined the front of the queue, which happens every year. But eventually Richard Turner and his brother turned up, and his brother's friends. So it was great to see Richard again. And then obviously other people turned up, which we'd seen from the previous night, and they just bundled themselves into the queue. So the doors opened, and there was a queue from the front door, and then when I looked over the opposite side, you had all the Retro and Limb guys, and in front of that lot was blooming Stu Toot UK, as per usual. He don't mess about. So I'm right, waiting to get in, and you got these bloody security guards this year, this red rope, and you know, stand back. I'm thinking, what the fuck, man? Just let me in. And he took about 10 minutes to findle with his rope. And when he opened up, Stu, straight next to me, I thought, get out of the way. So I'll just run in, first in the door, and then what we all do, most of us anyway, look for the the trade stalls. So I went to where I went last year, straight into the bottom corner by the main stage, if you can remember from last year. Console Passion, straight over there, big massive stall last year, because a lot of stalls were within the main hall, and then we had a separate hall. So went over there, nothing there. I went, okay. I looked around, and there was not one stall within the main hall. I thought, okay, where the hell are the stalls? So I just grabbed some random guy. I said, where are the trade halls, mate? And he goes, through the double doors. And I thought, okay, it's through the double doors. It's in the second section where it was last year. Hopefully, they probably opened up other sections. Well, I went in there, and no, it's just one room. And this is the disappointing part, because you go in there and you literally had count about 5 stalls. Obviously, Console Passion was there, which we all headed over to first, and their stock was minimal, very, very minimal. You were scratching your head to try and find anything decent from it. I literally walked around with Daz, and by 10:30 we'd come out and we was at the bar, because we was disappointed. We'd seen a few items. We thought, I'm not in any rush to buy them. I'm just going to go back. If they're there later, I'll pick them up. If not, you know, I've saved myself some money. Trader-wise, definitely disappointed. There was a lot of stalls with miscellaneous stuff, like selling figures, selling swords and samurai swords. I just don't know what was going on there. Just selling swords and weapons, and I think, you know, yeah, I'm going to Blackpool to buy myself a samurai sword and go and hack people up. Yeah, great. But that was a bit of a senseless store, but each to their own. I'm assuming people like that kind of thing for cosplay. Yeah, there's a lot of people selling t-shirts and figures, and not many gaming trade stores. But as I say, I didn't really go there for that, and I weren't there for any specific items. It was just anything that caught my eye, I'd go for. So in the end, obviously, we went round it the first time round, which was pretty disappointing. We went to the bar, me and Daz, and then we decided we were going to hit the arcades. So we had a good scare of the arcades for a good hour and a half. He traced me on Killer Instinct as per usual. I played Street Fighter with him, and I was unbeaten. But I'm disappointed because I not got to fight Monkey Spaz, because apparently he's a wizard. And I missed the moment where he kicked Cojones Dolores' ass on Killer Instinct. Unbeaten for 2 years, and his ass was kicked truly, apparently. So I missed that moment, unfortunately. But I did keep on saying to James, we'll have our brawl. It never happened. So we're gonna have to wait again till next year. So trust me, mate. When we see a Street Fighter cab, me and you, fella, we have got to have that Street Fighter brawl. But as I say, the selection of arcades this year, I have to admit, weren't half as good as the previous year. Not enough. There was some good arcades there by all means, but not enough compared to last year's selection. There was a great selection. There's too many to even think about playing. Because you had the Crystal Castles missing, which I loved. You Punch Out. There's other niche, fantastic old arcade games that just wasn't there. But what was there, you managed to go around within the one day. So that's what me and Daz did. But anyway, back to the bar. And we decided, right, let's go and have another look around, which we did probably 2 or 3 times in the store hall to find out what was there. And in the end, I come out with 2 more N64 Jap games. And this is the lot for me in terms of games for this year, which I'm not really too fussed about because, as I say, I bought things over that weekend off eBay anyway. So I've got more games coming my way, so that makes no odds to me. But the other 2 titles I picked up were Jap N64 games, and 2 that I did need, because I want all Mario games to the collection. And this is no exception. Fantastic game. Very happy to have this one, and it is Mario Golf. Very, very good condition. Really, really happy to have that one. So that's another one to add to the collection. I think I only need Mario Kart now, the special edition. And once I've got that one, I should have most of the Jap Mario games. I'm not going to bother with the likes of Mario Party, but just the main titles. But there's Mario Golf. And the final one, which is a fantastic game. I've always wanted to get this one. The artwork, just for the artwork alone, is just superb. And it is the one and only Smash Brothers, the original Smash Brothers. Fantastic artwork, and the game box is in absolutely pristine condition, guys. Absolutely brilliant. But I've had a fair few goes of this over this the week that I've just had off. Absolutely brilliant. Now, this one and Mario Golf were roughly £44 for the 2. I tried to get a deal off Console Passion for 40, and I blankly refused, and they said they wouldn't even knock £2 off it. They said you wanted to have any deals, you got to spend over £50, and I weren't about to do that. So I said, you know what, for £2 you can have your £2. So I paid £42 for those, and that was the lot in terms of my purchases from Blackpool. Didn't pick anything else up. Nothing really interested me. As I say, the stalls was quite disappointing, and the arcades were minimal, really. But we wasn't there for that. I think most people have said, the interaction and the meeting up with the YouTubers in general was the main point for a majority of us this year. Absolutely, no 2 ways about it. But you know, we had a good day, good few beers. Got to around 4 o'clock, and then we decided to go and have something proper to eat, because I didn't want a grease weekend where we just ate chips and rubbish all weekend. So I went for a decent meal. Went to a steakhouse. We joined Soul Funk Retro and Russ Newton, and AD Sneaker Freak was there as well. A couple of other guys. Apologies, can't remember your names. But there was myself that went, Rob, Retro Dave. Who else was there? Carl, obviously, Dahl. And we all went for a nice steak. I did anyway. And it was really nice to have the steak, and we learned a few things about each other, especially Rob, bless him. Something very interesting learnt off him, but if he wants to tell you, or if you ever speak to him about it, that's Rob's prerogative to tell you. But it was a really great story. But as I say, we had a great meal, had a good chat. And then, as I say, we left Matt and Russ and the guys because the majority of them were going home on Saturday night. So we all headed up back to our hotel, back in, done the business, got ourselves ready, back downstairs for around 7:30, back to the Norbreck, and night number 2 started, and it wasn't as full as the previous night because everybody decided to go their own way and do their own thing, which is understandable. So technically, as I said before, Friday night was the main night for the meet-up, but we still had a few guys there. You know, Stu was there. On a road trip, Pete was there, Rob was there, Daz was there, Rich King Retro was there, Retro Dave, myself. A few other people turned up, but I got to admit, on the Saturday night, it was a bit chaotic in there. We tried to find a nice quiet corner because it was infested with kids. So was the Friday night, but Saturday more so, I think, because it was some sort of football tournament for kids, and it was horrific. They were everywhere, and it's, oh yeah, we just had to deal with it. So anyway, had a great time. We got to roughly 11 o'clock ish, and Daz weren't feeling too well. David had enough, and everybody started parting ways. And I forgot to mention Keith the host. He was there as well. Great to see Keith again. But anyway, some of us decided to go to the Gentings, not the casino, because the boxing was on, and some of us went home. But I thought I'm staying out. I'm making a night of it. So there was myself, there was Rich, there was Stu, there was Adi Sneak Freak, there was Dan Central, there was Ian McGrath, which I forgot to mention. I knew I'd bring names up, and there was oh come on. It's going to kill me. It's going to really, really piss me off. I can't remember his name. Anyway, I'll remember your name. I promise. I promise I'll get back to your name. I hope I can remember your name. There was one more of us, and we all went to the Gentings Club. Got ourselves in there. We had a few beers, and we sat around this big table in the end. And we done this mad game. Everybody had to name a console and then name a favourite game from that console. It went round. And it was a pretty interesting night. A lot of good talk, a lot of good banter. And we all, as the night progressed, we all got tired, we all got more drunk. Richard, he left and went home and had a 2-hour power nap and come back about 3 o'clock. The boxing started, and by the time the boxing started, me and Stu, we'd had our fill. We was tired, I was asleep. He was asleep, so we thought, you know what, I can't be arsed. So I was locked out. I had to go back with Stu and keep in his hotel. So that was an experience, sleeping in Tooties. Yeah, I ain't saying no more than that. But yeah, I've got to say thanks for putting me up for the night, mate. Got up, you know, had a decent sleep. Woke up as rough as hell. Had myself a nice free breakfast. And then we headed back up to the Norbreck. And as I say, I got there on a Sunday and I went round with the intention really that I'd had enough. I did what I wanted to do. I played what I wanted to play on. The setup with the, you know, the computers and that, I don't know, something about that, it didn't really appeal to me because I can come home and do that any time I want. So I had a few more goes to the arcade with Stu and that, and like, met up with other people again, had another drink at the bar. And it got to roughly 2 o'clock. And everybody started parting the ways then. Here you go, one more person. And I've got to say, apologies, mate, Peter Dickinson, because every time we've met, we've always shook and said hello, and that's it. So next time I see you, mate, me and you are going to have a good chat, have a beer, and have a proper talk, because I never get to see you, I never get to talk to you, and it's a shame. So, Pete, say Pete? Yeah. Man, I'm losing it a bit now, because I've talked for nearly 33 minutes. I'm afraid it's absolutely killing me. Yeah, Peter Dickinson, yeah, trust me. Next time we see each other, mate, we'll have a good chat and a good drink, alright, mate? Anyway, we all said our goodbyes, and it was a sad feeling, really, when everybody left. It's kind of empty, because everybody'd gone, and me and Dave was on our own, and we had another day, and we was going to leave on Monday morning. But, you know, I had the feeling that I'd had enough and I really wanted to go. And I did mention it to Dave. And he was, oh, maybe we should stay a little bit longer. But I went to the bar, got myself a drink, come back. And it must have been within a half an hour of us being left on our own and everybody's gone the separate way. Dave goes, you know what, Joe, I think you're probably right. I think we should go home. So we popped into the, left the main hall, bumped into Chris Noverburg and Console Snowbar and James Monkey Spaz. Dave done a deal with James for a Spectrum, and we sat down and said, right, yeah, we'll have this drink and we'll go. Bumped into Dan Central again, had a quick chat with him, and said, like, we were going to make tracks. And I think it was a wise decision, really, leaving on the Sunday, because with the traffic on the Monday, especially being a bank holiday, I think it would be, or would have been, horrific getting home. So we left about 3 o'clock, grabbed our stuff, checked out, gone. And I got home about 5:30. So it was literally 2.5 hours, just under, straight through. So easy. But I was glad to be home. Dave dropped me off, took everything out of his back of his van, said my goodbyes, and poor old Dave had another 2.5 hour journey home. And he got home and he managed to do his video the same night. So fair play to him, but he looked tired, put it this way. I wouldn't have wanted him in his shoes. But again, Dave, thanks very much, mate, for giving me a round trip from mine to Blackpool and back home again and get me home safe. And as I say, I got in and I was glad to get home, believe me. But general consensus of the weekend, had a great weekend, met some fantastic people. Every single one of you I met, absolutely, you know, I couldn't have met a better bunch of people and spent a great weekend with. Had a fantastic time. Bit disappointing on the trade stalls. The arcades weren't great, but as I say, for the newbies that went this year, it was nothing new. They thought it was a great weekend, but if you'd have been the previous year, then you'd have kind of seen the difference. It was, you know, it was a big difference in terms of what you had stalls wise and arcades, but still an enjoyable weekend. I say thanks to each and every one of you having a conversation, you know, having a chat with me. You know, it's just an all-round fantastic weekend, guys, and it's gone and it's over. So let's deal with it and let's move on. And you know what? Blackpool's coming again next year. And am I going to go? Yes, of course I am. You've got to, ain't you? If you don't go to Blackpool, you're missing out. And I urge anybody who hasn't been to go, because you will enjoy it. You'll have an experience. You'll meet some fantastic, like-minded people, and it'll be a memory you'll always remember. It's just something. If you're into the YouTube community and you've got any, like, you know, you think to yourself, oh, you know, I should really do that. I really want to go. Don't hesitate. Just get yourself to Blackpool and have a cracking weekend with us, guys, because you'll be safe if you do. But listen, guys, I'm going to leave it there. It's nearly 37 minutes long. I had a great weekend. Yet again, thank you to all of you to making that weekend for me. And I'm going to leave it there, guys. And as per usual, I am CyberSnake7. Keep playing, guys. Keep watching. All the best.